This E3 coverage is brought to you by Netflix.
Hey guys, Max Scoville here for Rev3 Games. It is E3 2013. I'm on the floor right here in front of the WB Games booth. I just got a chance to check out Batman Arkham Origins and Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate, the portable game that's kind of coming out with it. Now, Batman Arkham Origins, as you may or may not know, is a prequel, obviously, based on the title, to the previous Arkham games, and it's being done by a new studio, which is WB Montreal, which Warner Brothers just opened up, and a lot of people are kind of wary because Rocksteady has such a good track record with the previous two games, but I don't think you should worry because it seems like they're definitely taking a lot of care in making this feel like a proper Arkham game. Origins takes place kind of at the beginning of Batman's career, and he's sort of starting out, and it's still Gotham. It is the city from Arkham City, except there's twice as much of it. They took pretty much the basic map from Arkham City, and they expanded it, and they added South Gotham, which now has bigger, higher skyscrapers, which allow you to get much more time, diving and climbing in. And there's a whole lot more street crime because guess who doesn't work in Gotham City at this point? It's Batman. He's just starting out. He's the new guy in town. Now, in terms of game mechanics, there are two really big new things here. One, Batman has this expanded detective mode thing going on, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because it's a prequel, but it's very cool nonetheless. It's kind of a CSI thing where he'll be investigating a crime scene and he can use his sort of, computer reenactment software. For instance, I was seeing a helicopter that suddenly crashed. A police helicopter showed up and then kind of hit a sign and then just hit the ground. And so Batman goes down on the ground. He kind of looks around. He examines the pilot. And then it sort of does this computer recreation playback to when the helicopter first crashed. And it's like, oh, the tail rotor hit that sign. Well, let's go find the tail rotor and find out what happened to the tail rotor. And you find out that it got shot by somebody. You go see who shot it. And, long story short, Deadshot's in the game, the guy who shoots stuff. Another new toy that's quite a lot of fun, I must say, is the Remote Claw, I believe it's called. It might be Remote Grapple. But it is basically... You connect bad guys to other stuff, including other bad guys. So you go into your aiming mode, and you select an enemy when you're being the bat, and you're creeping around doing the whole Predator thing. And you can you can select one bad guy and then select a nearby object such as a fire extinguisher, and then those two things will go colliding together, knocking the guy out. Which where does he get these wonderful toys? Now, there are also new enemy types in the game. There are armored enemies, which you have to do a triple stun on before you can actually land any hits on them. They're just huge, big, hulking dudes who look kind of like Bane. And then, of course, there are also martial arts enemies who are just basically ninjas who you fight because you're Batman. Now, moving on to Arkham City Origins, I was really excited about this because it is a Vita and 3DS Metroidvania 2.5D, side-scroller kind of. Well, it's 2.5D Arkham, which is, it sounds awesome, and in practice, from what I've seen, it actually is. This takes place 6 months after the console version of the game, and it is the Arkham universe's first appearance of Catwoman. And the part I was playing was the first level where you see her and you're kind of chasing her down. They have managed to take pretty much everything that's fun about Arkham and squish it down into, 2 dimensions. The combat is very similar. You are still countering attacks and, punching enemies, and you're still using the grappling hook to jump around. You can still glide from stuff. And there's a great thing they do with the camera where, you'll go around the corner of a building, and instead of trying to pretend that this is just a giant 6-mile-long side of a building like you might see in some old side-scrollers, it has this good kind of, 3-dimensional switch around the side. And it's still, you're not moving in 3 dimensions, but it follows with you. The cutscenes are done with these wonderful kind of motion comics, and normally I cannot stand motion comics, but this is done really well, especially on the 3DS, which looks very crisp, and it's all fully voice acted. Overall, I think that the Arkham City Origins games, both the console and the handheld ones, are looking very promising. Anyway, Batman Arkham Origins and Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate are coming out October 25th for 360, PS3, PC, Wii U, 3DS, and PlayStation Vita. So if you own one of those things, you can probably enjoy being the Bat. Anyway, I'm Max Scoville for Rev3 Games. Check out the rest of our E3 coverage right here on this very video watching program thing that you're watching it on right now.
This E3 coverage is brought to you in part by Netflix. Yeah, Netflix, the wonderful service that lets you stream unlimited TV and movies directly to current and next-gen consoles, handheld smartphones, and tablets, and just about anything with an internet connection. Netflix, which happens to be the only place to catch the new season of Arrested Development. Well, if for some reason you haven't already signed up for Netflix, by all means, head over to netflix.com/revision3 and sign up for a free trial membership today.
All right. That means that we're recording. I'm dumb.